Hi everyone. I just wanted to make a little disclaimer before we jump into this. You are about to watch my trailer reaction for the movie Four Good Days. This video contains content dealing with addiction, and I go into other movies such as Beautiful Boy, Ben is Back, and the new documentary that is out on YouTube, Demi Lovato, Dancing with the Devil. Experiences and triggering words may be said in this video. If those things are triggering for you, I would not watch this video. However, there are links in the description that I would encourage you to check out if that might be something that you could do. If you or someone you know is suffering with an addiction, you can always get help. It is never too late. And I will again put those links in the description below for you to check out. There is hope, you can get help, and it's never too late. Hi dolls, welcome back, and if you are new, hello, my name is Jessie, and today we are going to react to the trailer for the movie Four Good Days. I was not going to do this reaction, I was going to just watch the trailer, but seeing Glenn Close and Mila Kunis makes me feel like this is going to be one of those movies that sets itself apart from others. There are a lot of movies about addiction, a lot of movies about recovery. Some do it really well, some not so much. I just the other day watched Ben is Back. It has Julia Roberts and a bunch of other fantastic actors in it. It is about her son coming home from rehab and their experiences in dealing with him being back and him being there. And it was one of those movies where I wasn't sure if it was going to portray everything appropriately, and in my opinion, I think they did a great job. I also just watched A Million Little Pieces. It was also based off of a book, which I did not read, but I do have. And I have to say, I thought that was a decent movie as well. But Ben is Back was very, very good. And this reminded me of that because Glenn Close plays Mila Kunis' mother. And Glenn Close, do I really need to give any references? She's amazing. Mila Kunis I've been watching since that 70s show, since she was a young woman and she blossomed into this amazing actor. She can play funny, she could play sad, she could play serious, she could play sexy, she could do everything. And seeing her like that startled me and set me back and made me take this movie seriously. Not that I wouldn't have to begin with, but you can see the dedication that is going into this. It is going to be heart-wrenching, and yeah, I don't even know if I'm going to post this, but I just wanted to record it because again, there are some movies that just don't do a good job, but then there are some that can help people in ways they didn't know that they needed to be helped, whether you are the person going through the addiction or you are the person helping or wanting to help someone through an addiction. So let's just jump in and take a deep breath. But before we do, throw a like up or a dislike if you do or do not like what you see. Comment down below, let me know what you think of this if you are going to see it. Subscribe if you have not yet. We do fun things here. Ring-a-ling-a-ling the bell to be notified when I upload new videos. And check the link down in the description for my Patreon. I have full unedited reactions of Alice in Borderland, Bridgerton, Sweet Home, Riverdale, Demon Slayer, all different kinds of things. So go check it out. But without further ado, my friend has been telling me to watch this for a while. It keeps seeming to follow me and find me when I'm on YouTube, so here we go. This is the trailer reaction for Four Good Days.
I'm gonna level with you, Molly. Opioids have a 97% relapse rate. You have gone through this 15 times.
Do you know what an opiate antagonist is?
No.
It's a shot we give you once a month. The shot essentially makes you immune to getting high.
Is it safe?
Are you kidding me? Now all of a sudden your body's a temple?
You have to be clean for at least a week.
4 more days, seriously?
Tired of what we've been through. I'm scared for you whenever she's around.
Who was that? If I wasn't a junkie, would you even ask?
Probably not.
Whenever I've decided to re-engage with her, I've always done it with my eyes wide open.
So you feel like you've run out of hope.
Please, I can't do this. Yes, you can.
You wanna give up the fight.
Mom, how is she? She sits around smoking, twitching, and I am there watching her like a hawk and pretending that I'm not. Almost one day down. 3 more to go.
When you think it's the end of the road.
I'm so sorry. Wish I'd been around.
You should have been.
You think it's my fault that you're an addict? Oh my God. It just goes on and on.
I am
and
so
on.
sorry that my drug addiction is so incredibly difficult on you.
Sometimes I get the feeling that I don't want to love her anymore.
When you think it's the end of the road.
Do you know how many times that I have told myself that I'm not gonna steal to get high?
Someday I want things to be easier for her.
That I'm not gonna lose custody of my children to get high.
When you think that the mountain's too high.
Oh, please make it stop.
What does it take to get seen?
And you'll never get through.
I'm so sorry, Mom.
If there's anyone who has the strength to break free of this, it's you. I really believe that. I'm proud of you.
Somehow you do.
Okay, so I don't know how to feel about that. It looks good. I will say that. I feel like in movies like this, you cover certain specific bases. You cover the family relationship. You cover what they're going through. You cover what the family is going through. You cover them expressing their feelings to other people and trying to get them to understand what a challenge it is for them to just go through everyday life. You cover them regretting everything that they did or started to do. You have these certain bases that you cover in a movie like this with this kind of a situation, and just because you cover them doesn't mean that you execute them properly. Again, Glenn Close, Mila Kunis. Mila Kunis looks incredible in this. For an actor to transform themselves in the way that she has for a role means that you are dedicated to playing that part and telling that story in an authentic way that it should be told. And the father, I can't remember his name, but he plays in Barry. I love him in Barry. He's really good. So the cast has me, the story has me. This hits close to home for me. I lost someone about just over a year ago now, and it was really hard. It was really, really hard knowing how much of a struggle it was for them, seeing the aftermath of how everyone was affected by what happened and how we are all still dealing with it today. And I think it's important to have movies like this. It's important to have these stories told because some people don't know how hard it is. Some people don't understand it. Some people have never been through it, thankfully, and some people never will, fortunately. But for the ones that do, for the ones that have or are, it's important to know that you are not alone, that you have people that are going through the same similar situations as you, whether you are the mother or the daughter or the son or the father or whatever role it is. I think the part that that hit me the most was when the doctor says you have to be clean for a week, and she says 4 more days. So that means she's already been clean for 3, and she doesn't think she can last for. She's startled, but she's like, what? Like, and for people who, no, your audio did not bug out. It was me. That is the part of the video where I apparently muted myself on my mic. I don't know if you guys noticed, I have a lot of fidgetiness in me a lot. You can tell in some of my videos I try to keep my hands occupied and stuff, and one of the things I do is I hold on to this because I don't have wireless headphones, so if you hit this button it mutes the audio. So I'm gonna try to pick up where I left off because I was editing and just realized that I don't have an end to my reaction now. Go Jesse, good job. I think what I was trying to say is she's startled by the fact that she has to last 4 more days. She's already lasted 3, but she has to last 7, and that's 4 whole days. And now to some people, you're thinking, like, that's not that much. It's 4 days. She's already almost halfway there. What's the big deal? 4 days to an addict is like an eternity. 1, 2, that is a long time in an addict's life. And it doesn't even have to do with the wanting to get high. At that point, when someone is this far into an addiction, it has to do with not wanting to feel nauseous, not wanting to feel sick, and just being able to get back to functioning as a typical person can. It's not even about the high anymore, which is the really sad thing. It's that's the epitome of addiction right there, is not wanting it to accomplish something that is fun, if you will. It's needing it to accomplish something that is causing you pain if you don't have it. And I think that they seem to be doing a good job of portraying that kind of a role, that kind of feeling that people who have addictions feel. I think that's what's most important in these movies, and that's why I really like Ben is Back. I know there were mixed reviews about it, but I mean, Julia Roberts, if I see people in Julia Roberts' character in that movie. I know people like her, you know, and certain things that she did, I've done myself. And you get to experience situations with his sister and his father, who Julia Roberts is very supportive. She's very happy he's here. She's welcoming. And the father and the daughter are very on guard and very nervous and very careful. And it's easy to see people like, it's like one extreme to another. You have the supportive no matter what, and then you have the I am being supportive in my mind. Like, I feel like people like, I love you, I'll be there for you, whatever you need I'll give you. That's the support that I give. And then you have the I have been burned 1,000 times. I want to believe, but I can't. And my way of supporting is not falling for this act again. It's knowing when to say no and when you have to say no. It's knowing when not to believe when you can't believe. And in doing so is helping the healing process. And it's hard to explain that. I hope that makes sense. It's very hard to explain that because I feel like most people who don't have experience with addiction, it's, well, you just support the people. You just support them, and then they get help and they get better and they stick with it, and that's that. And it's not that at all. If it was that easy, if only it was that easy. But it's not. It's you hear in the trailer, Mila Kunis says, if I told myself I wouldn't steal to get high. I've told myself I wouldn't get high so I wouldn't lose custody of my children. Like, do you think a mother wants to lose custody of her children? Well, it's easy. Just don't get high and then you won't. It's her children. If it was that easy, it would be easily doable. It's not easy. So that, I think, again, it's portraying the addict and portraying the people around the addict. They each have their own story. They each have their own struggles that they go through. And I'm not saying one is more important than the other, or one is harder than the other. It's just, it's very different situations. Demi Lovato actually has a mini-series documentary that's out on YouTube. I'll put the link in the description for that as well. It so far is 3 videos. I'm not sure if that is all. They're all about 20 minutes long, give or take. And I've watched the first one, and wow. I knew that this was coming out and I wanted to watch it. I had no idea how in depth and how serious everything was. I mean, I knew that she had OD'd, but I did not know, no one did, which is why she's releasing this documentary. No one knew her story of what was actually going on with her and what was happening. And they do a really interesting thing where they take her situation. They were previously filming a documentary, a normal documentary on her shows and her performances and her life, and not realizing that she was going through this addiction and doing the things that she was doing. She was hiding it very well. And it's interesting because that documentary never came out, but they used pieces from it in Dancing with the Devil. So they kind of show, like, this is what we filmed as the documentary. And this was Demi Lovato saying what was happening during that scene. And it's all sunshine, butterflies, and rainbows. And then it cuts to her and she's like, I was doing crack and heroin. And you just see her, how she is, and you would never think that. And it actually goes through interviews with her friends and her family and how they're like, we had no idea, we didn't know, like, she was so good at hiding things. It's an amazing documentary so far. Like I said, I only watched the first one and there's 3, and I'm not sure if that's the final, but check it out. It is really good. I can't remember where I had heard this. I can't remember where I had seen it or heard it, but it was a mother speaking about their child who had passed because of addiction, and her saying how it was very hard to talk about the death because in today's society, and it is getting better, I will say, but in today's society, drug addicts are scum. Drug addicts are dirt. Drug addicts are drug addicts, and they don't deserve help. Kind of, I feel like a majority, or at least a decent amount of people feel. So when you tell someone that you lost your loved one to an addiction, it's almost embarrassing. It's embarrassing, and people don't treat you with as much sympathy as they would if it was a car accident or, you know, a terminal illness or something like that. It's, people look at addiction like it's, well, that was your choice, you took that path, that's your fault. And so it's very hard for people who are grieving deaths of loved ones and people who are close to them. And I remember this mother saying that there were some cases where she would just lie and she would say that it was a car accident, it was a traumatic injury, or she wouldn't even tell the truth that of what it was. So, and part of, I feel, in my opinion, part of grieving and part of trying to move on from that terrible, hurtful situation of losing someone is confronting what happened, facing the reality, and being able to process it and talk about it and open up about that area. And so for someone to feel like they have to lie about it, it's just so sheltering and sad. And again, it's one of the many effects of what losing someone from addiction has on people that I think a lot of movies and TV shows don't portray well enough, I think is what I'm trying to say. They don't show it in that kind of a way. It's just, oh, well, of course they're sad. They lost somebody they love. Of course they're sad. It goes so much deeper than that. There was a line in, actually, in Ben is Back, where I don't want to give anything away from the movie, but Julia Roberts is speaking to a mother who lost a child from addiction, and she does something for her, I'll just say. She does something for her. The parent has already lost their child. Julia Roberts is trying to help her son. And the mother who had already lost the child says to Julia Roberts, you can't help them. More or less saying, like, they have to help, they have to want the help, they have to help themselves. They have to be the ones to make the decision to get clean and to go through that process of doing so. So we can't help them, but we'll hate ourselves if we don't try. And I thought that was so powerful. That line, it just hit, man, it hit. We can't help them, but we'll hate ourselves if we don't try, because you know that you can only do so much, and you know that you can only say so much, and you know that you want to do everything that you possibly can, but at the end of the day, it's not you who needs to get clean, it's them. They have to make that decision. They have to stick with it. And you can try and try and try all you want to help them, but not helping, taking the people, again, taking a step back from, like, when in this trailer too, you see she opens the front door, sees Mila Kunis, and goes, oh God, and shuts the door. Almost as if to say, here we go again. I could tell you're high, or you had gotten high recently, and this is what number time now, and should I take her in? Should I help her so that she can just go and do it again? Or do I do the tough love approach and show her that continuing down this path is going to make you lose everything that's important to you and shut the door? But shutting the door is so painful to the person shutting the door. Shutting the door is so mentally and emotionally traumatizing, because you don't know if shutting the door is going to be the last time you shut that door. And so typically people want to help. People want to do something and won't shut the door and will bring them in. But you do have those people who believe that they are helping by shutting the door. This is also portrayed in Beautiful Boy with Steve Carell and oh my gosh, I'm blanking on Timothée Chalamet is the son. That was very, very good as well. I actually really liked that because they dived into the whole mental aspect of addiction and how the chemical imbalances and the how your brain is deprived of certain things once you get down the path of addiction, which I thought was really important to portray as well. A lot of movies do not do that, and I think it's very important that people understand how addiction actually works. It's not a choice. It is not something that you can just say, I'm gonna stop. I'm not gonna drink soda anymore, but I really want to drink soda, but I'm not gonna. It's not like that at all. It's a lot deeper. And Beautiful Boy has a scene where it's kind of along the same lines of the shutting the door, where he calls, he needs help, and the father says no, and it is so painful for him to say no, but he knows that he has to say no because he's said yes a million freaking times, and that hasn't worked. So now it's time to try and say no, and saying no crushes you, and it crushed him, and it's a gorgeous scene. I feel weird using that word, but it's I don't want to say gorgeous. It's a very valuable scene. It's very valuable because you see both sides of it. You see Steve Carell's pain, and then you see Timothée Chalamet's pain, and him begging and hearing no, and Steve Carell hearing begging and saying no, and the two sides of it, and it's just, oh my gosh, it ripped me apart. So again, I think that this movie went a little too deep into other things there, so sorry that this took a little longer than I thought it was, but I think this movie is going to do a great job at portraying the different situations, the different people involved, and showing how addiction isn't just a choice and a crappy road that you went down. It's so much deeper than that. It is so much deeper than that. And yeah. So I can't wait to see this. I get weary because from what I saw, it looks good. But I need to see more in depth. I need to see the full-on conversations. I need to see how they're portraying the mother and the father. Like when Glenn Close says, sometimes I feel like I don't want to love her anymore. Hearing a line like that, me hearing a line like that, semi-understanding what is going on, because I can relate to it. I get it. I get what she's trying to say. Sometimes I don't want to love her anymore, because it's like, you want to feel like they can just say, I don't want to get high anymore and stop. It's like deep down, you wish it was that. You wish it was like that. And sometimes you may feel like that, but deep down, you know it's not that easy. You know it's not like that. You know they can't help it to a certain extent. And that's why you almost end up beating yourself up about it, because you feel terrible. It's like what I was getting back to saying, what happened in Ben is Back with the mother. It's, we can't help them, but we'll hate ourselves if we don't try. You always are going to think that you could have done something more. You could have said something more. You could have helped more. And not that it's necessarily your fault, but that you just didn't do a good enough job for them. And that's the difficult struggle that people around addicted people have. And I think that's what that scene was trying to say when she said, I almost don't want to love her anymore. It's, of course she loves her. It's her daughter. She loves her. She always will. But it makes you want to distance yourself from that person, because you feel like it's personal, like almost like an attack on you. Like, I'm trying to help you all I can, and you just keep doing the same thing you're doing, and it hurts. I think that's what that was trying to portray, but I need to see the conversations around those lines that were shown in the trailer in order to officially say, yes, they portrayed that well, or yes, I feel like that was done well, and it sends a good message. It sends a healthy message. It's, it's going to be helpful to people, hopefully. So I can't wait to see it. I think it looks really good, and it looks very promising. So everyone throw a like up or dislike if you do or do not like what you see. Comment down below. Let me know what you thought of the trailer if you are going to see it. Subscribe if you have not yet. We do fun things here. Ring-a-ling-a-ling the bell to be notified when I upload new videos. And don't forget to check the link in the description for my Patreon. It has all of my full unedited reactions of all the shows that I do on YouTube, in addition to more. I'm also going to put some links down in the description for if you or someone you know is struggling with addiction, of where you can get help or where you can donate. And I wish everybody out there luck. So long, everyone. Try to make someone smile today. You never know when you might need it next. Bye.